I just finished my first exam of medical school today, and I can say that it didn't go as I expected. And we're here today to talk about it, to reflect, to see what I could have done better and what I learned from this experience. So let me tell you what I wish I knew beforehand and what I would have done differently. So medical school is hard. Everybody knows that. Everybody expects that in some way or another. My school does in-home exams, so our professors write our exams, which is a plus and a negative at the same time. It's a plus because you do know your professor, so you do know what they like and what they don't like. And you kind of catch on with time, and especially after the first exam, I know what they're gonna ask now. I kind of understand them more. On the other hand, boards can be more difficult because it's questions that are not structured like boards. It's questions that are structured very different by multiple professors, like the in-house exams, rather than just the NBME. I think that's who writes the exams. I'm not sure, okay? Anyways, so my exam was on anatomy and biochem. I was surprised they put those two exams on the same exam. So it was questions that alternated or mixed in there of anatomy and biochem. So you're using two different parts of your brain, either trying to recall or trying to reason through questions. With biochem, you have to reason through questions, but with anatomy, it's just literally pure recall. The good thing is it's multiple choice. So you kind of just have to know enough to get enough, if you understand what I mean. So yeah, but it was an interesting exam. I never had an exam where it's two different subjects that are very completely different, that use very completely different parts of your brain. So it was a little bit stressful leading up to it. I was busting my ass off trying to manage both subjects, because it's not that you're just studying for one thing. You're studying for two things that are happening at the same time that use completely different parts of your brain that is not connected at all. Gross anatomy is not biochem. Yes, they are technically about the human body, but in very different levels. Anatomy is about the macro, about everything. It's like macroeconomics. It's looking at countries, at regions, at stuff. But on the other hand, biochem is about the microeconomics, the preferences of one person, or what this cell's like and what this other cell doesn't like, what pathways and mechanisms that work inside the cell. So it's very, very completely different. Not only that, but the exam covered material up to last Wednesday, which means I had 4 days to catch up on stuff that I was taught last week, because it's gonna be covered. Not only that, but it is also a significant portion of my exam. For every lecture, there's 3 questions. And by last Wednesday, I had 5 lectures that I had to catch up on, which made up 15 questions on the exam, which if I got wrong, I would have failed. So it's a lot of trying to catch up and trying to get to know everything, which is not how undergrad works. With undergrad, we would already have covered the material for 2 weeks, at least for most classes. I had those classes that are last minute, but for most classes, you have already covered the material. You would have had the time to look at it, review it multiple times, and then test yourself and come back to it later. With medical school, you cannot. You cannot get behind, and you cannot prioritize something and forget something else. Yes, this was my first exam, but next week, in a couple of days, I have another exam. I have my histology exam that is 50% of my grade. So if I just ignored histology to study for anatomy and biochem, I'm not gonna pass my histology test. That is next week. I had to be able to not only study for both anatomy and biochem, but also remember that histology is just around the corner. You cannot cram for anything in medical school. You can try, you may pass, but it's not a good look, especially if you're in a graded curriculum like myself. So how did I prepare for the exam? I actually think I prepared very well. Going into the exam and coming out, I feel like I'm not really gonna change a lot of things. I feel like I set up a good routine. The only thing I would change is maybe restructure some things, spending less time looking at lecture slides and more times doing the Anki. Also, managing my time better. One thing I should have learned a while ago was time management. Medical school is a lot of information, and unfortunately, you do not have 3 billion hours a day. I wish I did. Listen, I do really would have loved to have 3 billion hours a day, but unfortunately, we do not. And I'm a big sleeper, which means I need to get my 8 hours of sleep at night, or at least 6 hours of sleep if I can't do it. So I literally had that blocked off of my schedule because I knew I needed to sleep, and sleep is important if I want whatever I memorized during that day to actually be in my brain tomorrow and consolidate. I think that's the word, to actually be there when I need it to be. Sleep is very important, so please don't sacrifice it. Pulling an all-nighter is not gonna work. It's not undergrad anymore. Of course, there is those people that would work for them, of course. Yes, we are the 99th percentile of all students, but also there is a 99th percentile and the 99th percentile. So there is, of course, people that can just do that and still pass. Definitely. I'm not gonna say that it's not possible, but am I gonna say that it's the best idea for you and your mental health? Not really. Time management is a thing I should have learned beforehand, and if you are waiting to start medical school, please do. Just try to figure out a way to manage your time and know what you have to do rather than trying to guess what to do every day. I think that is one of the best things I have done. Another thing, I dabbled in a lot of resources at the beginning of the semester, and then I picked my favorites. In medical school, you're gonna be thrown a lot of resources, and when I say a lot of resources, I mean a lot of resources. They'll give you every type of resource that you can ever think, but you need to also remember you cannot do all of them. That is just not realistic. You need to be able to cover all the information in one way. So what I realized is I needed to go to lecture or watch lecture depending on the day, and I needed to do the Anki connected to the lecture. I never used Anki, so that's another thing I would say. If you have the time, please learn how to use Anki or some sort of app like that, because they are very helpful. Spaced repetition is proven for a reason, so I would recommend learning more about them. But also everybody has their own study style. Anki worked for me, so I would go to lecture, get the gist of whatever the professor said, do the Anki, and do practice questions. That's the main things that I've done. I've also pre-studied for lectures. I wouldn't say I really did keep up with all lectures, especially when exams got closer, but I'm trying to figure out the best way to preview the lecture, but also not spend like 3 billion hours doing that, because as I said, you do not have the time to be wasting. So I need to figure out a better way of just looking at the information before the lecture without taking too much time. So you clicked on this video because you wanted to know, how did my first exam go? To be honest, I don't know. I don't have my grade yet, so like I'm not sure, but I think it went well, better than I thought. I went in feeling very unconfident. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what's gonna happen, but coming out of it, I'm like, oh, that was not that bad. It was not as bad as I thought it would be. Yes, there's questions that I know 100% I missed, like I know that, but also it doesn't matter. I know I passed, and that's all that matters. We are in medical school, we're not in I don't know what, and I hate the culture of trying to just push through and become the A student, get the A's, get the 4.0, when life is more than that, and life is more complicated than that, and medical school is, residencies is. The amount of studying that it takes for you to change from a 93 to a 99 is such a big difference of studying. There is a point of diminishing returns. That's why studying too many resources is just gonna overwhelm you, because at one point those new resources are not gonna do anything anymore. There is a curve, and you have to just not ride the curve, but like you have to just go through it. So another thing I would say, please don't stay after the exam. I stayed after the exam, which ended up with me getting out of there more anxious than I was beforehand. I saw people that are checking their answers because they're confused about questions and stuff, and they started making me second guess my answers to the questions, even though I know the answers like the back of my hand. I saw a lot of people trying to argue certain stuff, and that just stressed me out, to be honest. So please just leave. I learned this in undergrad, but I don't listen to myself. But right after the exam, put those earplugs in, put those headphones on, and just zoom for that car. And I'm gonna continue doing that, because last time I fucking checked, it worked in undergrad. I didn't stress after the exam. I just waited till my score was out and reassessed and redid everything, or reassessed and either changed how I studied or continued the way I did, which worked for me. So I'm gonna continue doing that. I'm not gonna stay after the exam and be around those neurotic, stressed, anxious people, like very anxious people, because people get stressed. People get stressed. Everybody is used to being the top of their class. I was not. I went to Berkeley. I know that I'm not the top of my class. I know that I'm not. I have friends that have better GPAs than I do, and more than I ever would dream of. But here I am. I am where I'm supposed to be. So to be honest, it didn't matter then. It will not matter now. So I want to carry that energy forward. Carry the fact that life moves on and you move with it. You don't stop for anybody. You don't wait for anybody. You just do your thing and just move on. Don't stress too much. Just do what you have to do. Do your best and let the A's be A's, let the B's be B's, let the C's be C's. You can't do anything more than that, because with the sheer volume of information they expect you to know, you cannot know everything. And it is a luck game. Sometimes you're gonna see a question and be like, oh fuck, I saw that in a lecture slide, but I didn't study it. I don't remember it. Or in another, you're like, oh, everything I knew are the things that I studied. And that is okay, because you cannot know everything. Nobody can know everything. So please, if you're in your summer break, just rest and get ready for the semester ahead. If you are also post an exam, just remember, we did our best. We can't go back or do anything for our score. We just have to move on and keep swimming, as Nemo always said, or whoever said that in the Nemo movie. But we just have to keep swimming. Another thing, last thing before that, is life is too short to stress too much about it. We're gonna get where we're supposed to be. We're gonna all be doctors. We're gonna work as hard as we can and be the doctors that we need to be. I understand that life can be stressful, because to be honest, I am stressed. I am scared of what the future is. It's only been my first exam, so like I think I'm still scared. I'm still not used to this, but I know I'll get used to it, like how I got used to it back at Berkeley and before that. Life gets hard, life gets easy. It depends on the week, so we just have to roll with the punches. Another thing that I heard this week that I really want to say in this video is a quote I heard on TikTok. I don't remember which doctor said it, but if y'all know, put in the comments below. If not, please, I really don't mean to steal the quote. I just liked it very much. And it is a quote saying, in honors of the patients who can't, don't forget to live your life. And I think that's one of the biggest things I've learned. Life is too short. Life is literally too short to just think about this exam. Think about the next one, the one after that, not really enjoy the moment of where we are right now. Life can end tomorrow, and that is just the truth. People die, people stay alive, people move on, people travel, people stay, people ask about you. So just enjoy your time and talk to the people that you love, because you don't know who's gonna be here today or who's gonna be here tomorrow. And if you're gonna be here today or tomorrow, so please don't forget to enjoy your life. Live your life with no regrets, because you're the ones that are gonna be. So please don't do that. Anyways, I hope you learned something from this video. If you did, please leave a like, share, and subscribe. If you need any type of advice, you can hit me up on Instagram or write them in the comments below. I bet somebody else have some questions. If you want to hear more about my study techniques, please tell me below. I will make a video about it and explain how I study. Also, I've been starting my Spanish course soon, and I will make a video about how I learn languages, because I know some of y'all are interested in that. So I'll be making that too. If you wanna hear about those videos, please subscribe and turn on the notifications so you can hear about them. Anyways, I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, you can watch my last video or not. It's up to you. But I hope you really have a great day. Anyways, see ya.